today is going to be a testing video. We decided we're going to do red and white C9s around the top of the house and around the windows, but I don't know what pattern I'm going to use. So I don't know if I'm going to go red, white, or red, white, red, white. I also don't know what style of bulbs I'm going to use. If I'm going to use a bulb that you can see through that has the red light that comes through, or if it's going to be like an opaque bulb. And so today we're going to test that out. So let's look at the bulbs that we're going to use, and then let's put them on the house and see what we like better. The lights that I'm going to put on my house are these Tru-Tone bulbs. This is not sponsored. This is all stuff that I've purchased on my own. I found these a couple years ago. I really do like using them, but they make an LED bulb that looks like an incandescent bulb, and it does a really good job of matching the light of an old vintage look that you're going to get from C9 Christmas lights. What I like about the Tru-Tone bulbs being LED is I can put more of them onto a strand and I don't have to worry as much about the power. I do make sure that everything matches amperage, but we'll talk about that later. Today we're just going to put them on like a 20-foot run on the top of my gutters. We are going to use red and white. So I have red Jeweltone, which is the clear red right here, and I have Candle Glow, which is the clear white version. So I'm going to decide if I'm going to use these two or if I'm going to use the white and red ClassiColor, and that's what these are. These are the ClassiColor. I really like these. These have the really good vintage look, but my favorite has always been the clear bulbs. And so we're going to use these to see which design we like better. So we're going to put these on the gutter, and to hold them on the gutter I have some Tuff Clips. I really like these. They just snap right on and the bulb will go right into it like that. Some of them did get a little corrosion a couple years ago, and so what I did is I have rubber O-rings I'll put around it, and as you can see it did not affect them on these. I also have some Twinkly incandescent bulbs in red, but they are in the clear version of red, and so I'm going to maybe stick some of these up there, but as you can see they do a very good job of matching. Tru-Tone does not make a twinkle bulb, so I have to use an incandescent twinkle bulb, and I just put them in. I've done this in spots around my house. They look great. I'm also going to be using 9-inch spacing. I have cord that's 9-inch spacing. I make all of my cords so I can cut them to the desired length. I use male and female ends that you'll put on the end, and that's what I'm using on the top of my gutters. So let's go check them out. Let's just start with the red and white pattern of red, white, and we'll see how well it looks. Hopefully the camera can pick it up. As it gets darker, maybe it'll get better, but we'll try out the different patterns and let's get started. All right, so here's the red and white look. I like it. It's a pretty classic look. You know, you're not going to go wrong with it. The problem is if I do red and white, I don't have enough white ClassiColor to go around my house. I don't even have enough to do my gutters up here and my windows. I fell over the ladder. So let's look to see what it looks like. It's not very dark. I'll try to come back when it's dark. I like the way it looks, but let's move on to something a little bit different. Let's do a red, white with the ClassiColors and see how that looks. I think a little bit more red and a little bit less of the white color will look great. The benefit with the ClassiColors is they're not very bright. I think the Jeweltones are a little bit brighter than the ClassiColors, but these have that calm Christmas look that you're just gonna love. So let's switch it up and see how that looks. I just use these C9 clips around the windows and clip them up like that. But here we have the red, white look. And I like it. I like it better than the red and white. You can see them up here. It's still kind of bright, so it's hard to see them lighting up. The camera has a hard time picking up what the Tru-Tone bulbs look like. One nice thing about the Tru-Tones, the flicker is not too bad on them. I know some LEDs have a pretty bad flicker. I think these are still 60 Hertz, but they don't seem to bother me too much, and I do get bothered by flicker, so they're not bad. But here's the red and white look. I think I'm going to do a red, 3 reds white, but the middle red will be a twinkle bulb. I'm not really sure how that'll work. My twinkle are the clear red, so it might look different. So this is red, white with the ClassiColor. Let's change it to red, white with the Jeweltone red and Candle Glow white and see how it looks. It might be quite a bit brighter. I'm not really sure, but I really like the Jeweltone look. So let's try that, and then after that, let's add some twinkle bulbs. I know the camera has a hard time showing up. Hopefully someday I'll get a better camera. I'm just using a GoPro. But here is the Jeweltone red, and here is the ClassiColor red. So as you can see, the Jeweltone red I think is a little bit darker red, and then here is the Candle Glow white, and it just looks like an incandescent white bulb compared to the ClassiColor white. So on my real life, it doesn't have this like orange spot right here. It's all pretty red like this here on the end. But there's the comparison. I actually like the dark red that this gives, but let's try it out. All right, here we have red and white. Tru-Tone bulbs are glass, so that does help give it that vintage look. So I have to make sure I'm careful not to break them. I have broke a few, not today, but so here's our red and white. I really like the clear red and white look. I like that you can see the element on the inside. It gives it a different look right there. I really like that. I mean, I would do just red and white like this. So here's a picture of it in the dark. But now let's add some twinkle bulbs. Let's do 3 red and a white. So let's do red, 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 white. But let's put a twinkle bulb in the middle and let's see what that looks like. I think it might look kind of cool, but there's definitely a candy cane look when you have it just like this. You can't tell what is an incandescent bulb versus what is an LED bulb. So that's how great these are of mimicking a vintage look. So on the camera, they look the same. So in real life, they look the same too. But let's check it out. This is the red with some blinking. I really like what the blinking adds to the light. Not as much white for sure. I was thinking of maybe you could do a blinking white, but I kind of like the red blinking. But these are the Jeweltone lights, and so we'll see how these look. I really like the way this looks. This might be what I go for. The problem is I'll have to buy more Jeweltone red if I do that, and so that adds an expense that I don't always want to add because I've already purchased a bunch of Tru-Tone this summer. I found a red opaque bulb that blinks. I've never seen that before, so we might try the red and put that in there. But I like the sharpness of the Jeweltone. They just seem nicer from what I personally like, even though the other ones give definitely the classic look. But growing up, I always liked where you could see the filament on the inside, like this and this. So here's the incandescent blinking, and here's the Tru-Tone LED. Now let's use the ClassiColor and do 3 red and 1 white and see how that looks. Here we have the ClassiColor in red, red, white, red, red, white. So it looks about the same as the Jeweltone, but with the ClassiColor look, and I really like this look. But the 3 red and 1 white might be too much red, but the reason I'm using these ones is because I was wrong. I found twinkle bulbs that are opaque. I'd never seen these before. I've never known that you could even buy them. At one time I was told they didn't exist, but I found some. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna replace some of these red with twinkle bulbs and maybe some of the white with twinkle bulbs. But that's what it looks like with red, 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 white. And now let's put in these twinkle bulbs and see how they look. And here I added some twinkle opaque bulbs. And again, you can't tell the difference between the LED versus the incandescent bulb. So they're the same color when they're off, and when you turn them on, they look basically the exact same. The camera makes it worse. There's a little bit darker on the end of it right there, but you really can't tell. But the incandescent twinkle is just something you can't replicate. So here I replaced every 3rd red with an incandescent bulb, and on top, I replaced some of the white ones with an twinkle bulb. Still not exactly sure what I really think about changing and adding a twinkle bulb. I like the idea of it not just being static and not doing anything, but when you do the red, it kind of looks like a radio tower, to be honest. But yeah, those are the colors, red and white. Not exactly sure which one I'm going with yet. I think I've changed my mind. I think I'm going with the classic colors. So I'm gonna order some more red and white. And then I have this set of incandescent twinkle bulbs that I'm going to throw in there. So I don't know if I'm gonna do all the same color changing or if I'm going to do maybe a mixture of the 2 colors, still deciding, but there we have it. Now let's see if I can edit and compare all of them on the same screen and see how they look together.